Hey, welcome back. We're back in Timberborn in our Cavernwood colony. And today, well, we've got a lot of underground work to do. As you can see, last time we left off trying to get these connected in, but we've got a whole lot more tunnels to put in. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and blow these up right here. There we go. And we're going to get this stuff connected in, at least down on this end. We'll make sure everything connects there. And then I also want to put in, there was a great tip about putting in maybe some nice impermeable floors at the top of these. Now, because this piece right here should keep the water out, that's great. But if for some reason it decides it wants to flood over up here, we don't want the water pouring down here. And the best part is you can still put the tiny two-way stations right on top here. So there we go. Maybe eventually they'll have ones for the sides of blocks too that kind of let you keep water out that way. But for now, it's just really the top and bottom. Looks like they're already getting connected back in. Let's look and see how the tunnel down below is looking. They've got all of that in there. We're going to have to add one here. That'll get those connected. I want this undone so that they can get that dirt back in here. Over here, we can do the tiny tubeway station, which is still just an absolutely wonderful mod. And we're going to say these are pretty important. Let's also say, you know what? We'll just let them get that at their own pace. Same thing here, though. Let's get that to the max priority. Then they can attach those in there. These, we're going to have to probably wait until we get some more stuff in there. Those are all connected in. Down below, they're still working on those. However, with all the tunneling we're going to do this episode, we're definitely going to need a little bit of extra supplies here. So we've got some bad water, but I want to make sure that we can get enough bad water that pretty much no matter what, we're going to have enough of that. Because all dynamite eventually flows from that. So if we put in the bad water here, let's do this, and then we'll do another one right here. And if we put in a ladder, there we go. We can connect this one in here, comes out here, and goes over to this one. So hopefully that helps fill up our tanks here. We'll see if they can get those full. And then over here, we're going to make sure that the extract is always getting in here. So we're going to take some of the haulers and make sure that these are always full, just as full as they can possibly be, and go from there. Now, another thing that I saw that's a really, really good tip, we could do dynamite to lower the map down, because what I want to do is, if you'll look underneath here, there's a bunch of space behind over here where these tunnels are. However, we can't just basically go from the bottom and work our way up. It doesn't seem to work very well that way. But what we can do is basically, I would say, strip mine the area, and they'll just take care of most of it themselves. So let's go ahead and figure out, one, where this line is down below that we don't want to blow up. So it's right here. Let's go back up. It's right here. Let me put in a path. Oops. There we go. Right there. This we don't really need anymore. And we are going to have to get rid of these. And we'll probably have to get rid of some of this in here. So let's just get rid of, let's say that big a chunk and that there. Can I get to that? I don't think they can get to that. We might have to do something about that. But what I'm going to do is we're just going to take, and we're going to be using the tunnel dynamite to actually get some of these down. I don't know if I'll actually need to put any there or not, but we're going to put some there anyway. Let them blow all of that up, and then we'll come back here. I do need to take out some more of these beans. I'm hoping that we have enough beans afterwards that, or beans in other locations, maybe down here, that we don't have to worry too much about it. Let's take a look. Is this? No, that's not reachable from above. So we're going to have to temporarily take out some trees down here, unfortunately. Let's go about this many and this many, and then we'll put a path in there and see if that gets them up to demolishing that. Because we're going to have to replace this with a solid block. But I don't think one mangrove tree is going to matter that much. And look here, they've already got a lot of this done and taken out, leveled out for us. We don't need any of that. We don't need any of this or this. We're getting a lot of the planks back at least. So really what it's costing us is 1 plank, 1 explosive, and 1 extract. So that's not a terrible price. Let's see. Do they need a path down here maybe? Let's go from about the middle. There we go. They can cut those out of there. And then over here, the line should be right underneath these if I remember right. So let's just take the tunnel. And we'll come up here, and then we have the new counting thing down there, and we want 9 because most of our storage is 3 by 3 here. And then we want, let's go over 10 and, ooh, maybe not. 10 by 9. There we go. That's what we wanted. So actually, I don't want these at all. Let's get those out of there. So this is what, a 9 by 9, and then, oh, let's even out the stuff on top of it. Nope, still tunnels. And we'll go here, and they can get that. And let's, okay, they've got all that under there. Let's hold off on this one so we don't accidentally flood something we don't want to. There we go. And now, as they work their way down, we can just put in more tunnels here. There we go. This should be what, a 9 by 9 here? Oh, nope, maybe it's 10 by 9. There we go. Ta-da! Then we'll just keep going 10 by 9. Yep, 10 by 9. 9 by 10. And 10 by 9. There we go. Okay, they have those trees out of there, so let's go ahead and just roll right into taking this tree out. We'll say that that's super high important so that we can get down there. And as you'll see, they're just building the dynamite from the top. So they have a place to walk. They can set all of that in there and get all of that blown up, which is good. That's kind of what we want. We are going to run a bit low on extract, so I might come back over here just temporarily and toss in an engine. Where should I put this engine? This engine, that looks fine there. And then let's do 2 more centrifuges. There we go. 1 there, 1 there. We'll say that those are of high priority. These guys are still going, but I have a feeling once we get the extra centrifuges, they're still not going to keep up. So you know what? Let's go ahead and try and work in a couple more here. And we'll get these guys in here like so. That hopefully gets us caught up. We might not need all of these eventually. We might go back to turning them off, but they should get these in here pretty quick and get that extract going. Over here, they've got all of this in, so let's get that in to block the water. We'll say high priority on that. This is all looking good. And then over here, we can pretty much do the same thing. let's put in another dynamite field. Strip mine our way down. There we go. Let's do another. We need 9. About 9 by 10 again, and we'll see how much that gives us. If we need more room, we'll figure out more room. We can always go again to the side over here. We are going to need to take out this and this, though. There we go. Let's make a pathway down the middle here, and we'll let them work there. We'll go back and check on some of our other subways while we wait. Over here, it looks like they're getting a lot of the stuff in, so I tell you what, let's take this out of there. We will say we probably don't quite need that. We can always build down. Let's take out all of these. Not that we need any planks at the moment. We're pretty full on planks. We need to go there. And then let's go back up to the surface and see. We can take out this here. That, this. Take out all of these. And I don't think we need to put the caps on these because they are a little farther inland than those other ones. So let's just drop some dynamite here for them. There we go. They can get all of that in. Over here, we've still got a lot of beavers coming through there, but you know what? We'll get that whenever we get these out of there. There's definitely some other tunneling projects that I'd like to get done. For instance, I need to get this mine connected in over here. So we're going to come down and just draw our tunnel out to there. Well, we'll draw it all the way over here. And then we'll draw it down from here. So that well, I don't want 3. I definitely don't want that many. There we go. We'll draw it all the way around, all the way through here. This looks good. Oh, just 1, please. There we go. They can start that. And then, once they get this one in here, we'll build one and do our tiny tubeway station trick. Hey, look, they've got that filled in. Good work, guys. We're going to just put one over here just so they don't trap themselves because these beavers have a tendency to do that. Let's go ahead and I'm not going to turn off any more of the pumps. We've got about half of them off now, so we'll just wait on the rest of that. Going back under here, though, they're going to connect into there, come up there. Over here, looks like they've got part of the way down. Let's go ahead and put in another 9 by 10. Go back up. 9 by 10. I don't need those. That's actually in the road. There we go. Another 9 by 10. Landscaping. Well, maybe. Landscaping. Here we go. Here. 9 by 10. There we go. Get them all filled up. 9 by 10. And there's one left right here that can't seem to... Oh, that's because that's on there. So they're going to have to just figure that out. We are starting to pull in more bad water. The extract's not doing great. But you know what? In all honesty, you can't expect it to do great no matter what when you have this many explosives. In fact, the number of explosives that I've got put down seems to be hurting the frame rate a little bit, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Over here, we did finally get most of this in, so let's go ahead and demolish out a couple of these. Yep, those there. And we'll take out all of these here. Yep. There we go. And then I want our overhangs. No, let's use the normal overhangs. I believe these were the 4 guys. Yep. 4 all the way down. There we go. And then here, we're going to do a 3. That'll let them connect in there. And I could probably put in a path here so that they can build all the way down. Now, over here, I believe they've got all of they do have their impermeable floors on. However, I think we're going to do some tunneling here too. And I'd like to take this just a little bit farther to the edge, but I would also like to maybe close some of this up just a bit. What I'm going to do here, actually, I'll just leave that since it's already there, and we're going to come over, and I want a 3 here, and we'll do the same thing here. Come over, and I want 2 from the edge, so we'll do 2 from the edge there. Let's come up just a little ways, and same thing here, and here, and then maybe a little bit more. There we go. And a little bit more. Maybe that's too close. About right here. There we go. And then we'll just match it on this side. Put you at the end there. Same deal. There we go. This way, everything above can be watered, hopefully without too many issues. I'm gonna go here. These are all 3s here. That, nope. That's incorrect. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, hopefully that turns the entire upper level green once it's all in there. In fact, speaking of being all in there, one, I need to take off this little edge. It's from when they were still allowing you to go over the edge. But now not so much. So we're going to take all this out. Let's go ahead and take this out. Put those in. And for now, do I want to connect in below or above? You know what? Let's just go this way for now. We'll put in tiny two-way station at the end here, and they can connect all of that in just as soon as they can. They have managed to get our dynamite in here, which that's good. Let's go ahead, get those blown up there, and that leads us pretty much all the way down to where we need to be. In fact, they've got this started. Let's go ahead and we will, well, maybe, there we go. It had to think about it for a second, whether it wanted to actually let me do that or not. There we go. And you know what? We probably don't need the floors, but we're going to do them anyway, just in case. And we won't need these. That's for sure. Now, let's get our tiny tubeway right on top. Connect them in right to the front door. There we go. Now there shouldn't be any water leaking down through there. And that hopefully starts those back up so we can take out some more of these. Speaking of which, though, let's go ahead and... Oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted solid tubeway. There we go. We'll have them put that in there. We can also have them start putting in this. You know what? This is pretty much done. We could just delete this, and let's go ahead, take out all this road here. Yep. And we'll take out that road. There we go. Let's go ahead and get rid of those. And we'll just grab these straight off of here and have them go ahead and get things connected in that way. There we go. There we go. All right. And then we'll drill down through those once we need to. But let's go back up here. We're going to need those. We're going to need those. That. And you know what? Let's do the impermeables anyway. They shouldn't be splashed on there. But you know what? The moment I don't put them in there, something's going to happen. So better to have them and not need them. We'll get them started on all of that. We're back down here underneath trying to get all of this cleared out. There is one section that we have to do, just the one that we had to repair from above. But as soon as we get the stuff for it, that's fine. We'll just go ahead and take care of that. However, there is a couple more things that we need to tunnel in here. And I'm going to start by taking this out so that we can actually come over here. And we're going to do some more tunnels back here. And that should give us plenty of room here. But what I want to do is we're going to take a tunnel out this way and around here. And eventually, we're going to try and take a power cord, power shaft, whatever you want to call it, all the way out and around here. And we're going to try and take it to the other side of the map. I want to avoid this place, though, just a little bit until we get this taken care of. We'll come back over here, and I want this to go to... Looks like it'll need to go to at least there. However, I don't want to let water in here, so we're going to have to temporarily, well, not temporarily, probably permanently, close up a little piece of the end here. So we'll put those in. And get that aligned, and there we go. That looks good. That'll make us a little dry path underneath there whenever we come through there. However, I think to get down there, we might need a ladder. So we'll just get a ladder in for them, just to make sure that they can do it. Hey, look at that. They've got that dynamite we set up so long ago. Let's take it out of there. That should be just fine. Look at that. They've got this square all taken out. So let's go ahead. We'll demolish some of these buildings. There we go. All of those can go. In fact, I could just go back down to the lowest level, and I think I can just... There we go. 1,800 planks. That's a lot of planks. We're not probably going to need too much in the way of planks for a good long time, but that's okay. We do need a place to store them, which is what I'm going to be building down here. We're going to do 3 high... There we go. Planks, planks, and more planks. That's will be the final destination kind of for planks. Then we have, let's do 3 high each for dirt. And then do I have really a repository? I do have plenty for metal block. I have that. You know what? This might all just be planks. And then we'll do dirt just off to the side here as well, just so we have a place to store it. Here's some extra, because we're going to need some dirt eventually anyway. This is going to be interesting. We'll have to figure out how to get in there. In fact, I think the only way to get in there might be take these out. So let's actually take this one out of there. Yep. And we'll say, why don't you guys go ahead and build us a tiny tubeway station? Maybe, if it wants to. Right here. Let's say that's high priority. In fact, we'll do this one too. And this one. We'll do this one too, and we'll have them all set. It's the highest priority. So that they can get back into here and get our stuff connected back in here. Then we can set these all up as we go. Over here, I've realized I may be able to take a power shaft out and around the map here. However, it's going to be a pain to try and build that, because I'll have to build it pretty much one at a time, or else we're just going to get beavers stuck over and over and over again. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to deploy a double wide tunnel here. Even though we're only going to need one, we'll have them build the shafts on one, and then we'll just have them go back and fill in with dirt, which seems kind of silly, a waste of explosives and a waste of dirt, but you know what? It's going to make it that much easier. So I'm just going to take the easy way out on this one, and we'll just make sure that those go in nice and smoothly. Let's go ahead. We'll get all of this done. There's all of this, and then how is this coming along? Did this ever get finished? No. It needs planks. Of all the things that it could need, I am surprised that it doesn't have enough planks. That's all right. We'll let that finish here in a second, and we'll come back and put the tiny two-way station in it. We might as well go ahead and build in the infrastructure here that we need to connect these up. So let's go ahead and we'll turn these around here. There we go. And we'll do this here. And we'll put that in there and this in here. I could make another exit on the other end, but I'm not going to worry about it. They can walk a couple of feet back there if they really need to. So let's go ahead, put the roads in. There we go. We'll put that set of roads in, that set of roads in, and this set of roads in so that those can all get built and connected in. And then we're going to come back through with dirt and we're going to fill over the top of this. So let's go all the way up to the top here. And then here, we're just going to do this and that. And that means you should pretty much not be able to see that there ever was a hole there. So we'll set all of these up correctly here in a minute. You know what? I'm going to need to get dynamite down to these. Let's see if we can. We'll just do triple dynamite, and then, oh, I'm gonna need a way to get up there, aren't I? You know what? Let's go with, we'll just grab some ladders. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. Even with all these neat techniques, we might just do this one the old-fashioned way and just plop one down on top until we get there. Let's put a 2 there so we can level it out, and then we'll go from there. We must have had a slight leak maybe down here or over here, because at the moment the basement is a bit flooded over there. Oh, it looks like they've came back online. Well, maybe not. Nope. Some of them are flooded, some of them aren't, but that's okay. Getting in those caps should help out with that quite a bit. So let's go ahead, let's dig down here, and we'll come back to getting that one over there. I used regular dynamite to get rid of that one too. You know what? Do I need one more here? How big is that's a 3? Let's put another 3 in there. These are not quite at the bottom either, are they? Nope, that's 2 and 2, so we'll toss a couple of 2 dynamites on there. There we go, and then we'll get those connected back in and put the proper dirt back on there. We, oddly enough, seem out of planks at the moment, which is weird, because that should be kind of the last thing that we're out of. Tell you what we'll do is we can remove a good portion of these. What is this? There's, okay. We will demolish buildings. See if we can get to these planks, maybe. That's 1,500 planks. Nothing else. Hopefully, pick them up from somewhere else and take them somewhere else. Kind of looks like they can at least get them there. There they go. So now they can get in here. And once they have the last of these pieces out of there, in fact, let's see, will that eliminate all the pieces below it? Kind of looks like it will. Wonderful. Okay. So is that all squared off? What about you over here? Not quite. They're still working on that. So let's go ahead. We'll take these out of there because they shouldn't need those. Yep. There we go. They shouldn't need most of these anymore. Yep. And let's go ahead and work on getting some large storage places in here. There we go. We've got twos. All right, I guess the large one's there. We'll get more large ones here. And we'll get one of you right in here. We'll say that that's super important. And then, oh, well, we might have to get a whole nother row there, but that's okay. We'll take care of that whenever we need to take care of that. Let's connect these in. There we go. And then we can start moving some of the random stuff from off of the side of the map into these areas so that we can get rid of those other storage areas. Around the map, we've got several places where we're storing food kind of out in the open. I want to leave this area as kind of the dining area for the beavers. However, I'd like to store the ingredients and probably some extra of the created food in here. So we're just going to come through. Let's just, you know what? We could probably, yep, let's do it this way. We'll do algae. We'll do canola seeds. We'll just give it one of each. There we go. And we're going to need coffee beans, and we need corn, and we need, there's the eggplants, and then we'll fill in some more over here. Did I miss a layer somehow? Let's see. Kind of looks like I did. But I can save myself a little time, little effort here, and just do the regular dynamite technique. As they throw it over the edge, and we can even take these out. And that'll let us get those in there. Then, let's see, what are the next three? So there's two there. And then we'll go back above, and maybe we'll put the finished versions on top of them. In fact, the finished version for this is a liquid. So we should be able to extend from over here on that, though. So let's put storage in here. Storage, water. I guess not water, liquid, because this is going to be the, there it is, canola oil. This is going to be the algae ration. There we go. This can be, no, we'll store berries in there. Why not? Let's go ahead. You are for coffee. So nothing like putting a giant underground open-lidded coffee container here, but that's okay. We'll do coffee, and then here is corn, so we'll do corn rations on top here. Corn rations. Wait, this is cassavas. This shouldn't be berries. This should be cassavas, shouldn't it? Fermented cassavas. There we go. This one, we'll do one here. This is eggplants, so this is the eggplant rations. And there we go. We'll let them build on that for just a minute. Oh, we've got dynamite here. Let's take you out. Put back in. I think I only need one there, so we'll do that. Did they get all these taken care of? They sure did. Let's get rid of those. Excellent. And then we're also going to have to probably put in, well, let's see. Let's do tunnels. Tunnels here. There we go, so that we can get in on this side. And if we need more, we'll build out more even into this area. But we'll go ahead and let them work on that. They've got to have a way to get in there anyway. So once this one's up, we can probably, well, I could put a tiny tubeway station in here temporarily, and then we'll just come back. Here we go. That needs to go. We'll put you here for now, say that that's important, and we'll come back to that. I missed one under here, so I'm gonna have to take out the whole tower, unfortunately, is what it looks like. Yep, that has to go. This has to go, and then once I finally get to the bottom and I can remove this, there we go, then I can rebuild this up to the top, grab our impermeable floor, and get you in there like that. And that will finally connect that one in. In fact, I don't think we need these really anymore. We'll go ahead and take all of these out. Let's take these out. There we go. Yep. You can go. Yep. Yep. There we go. Let's go ahead, that out. And we'll just take all these out all the way down, if it will let us. So we'll take that one, down one, this one. That's the floor there. So we'll leave that. And we'll fill it back in. There we go. That looks good. These shouldn't be needed anymore. However, that does present a small problem in that some of this doesn't have a real close connector. So we're just going to drop one of these for right now until we figure out a better way to do it. In fact, I grab a path here too. There we go. That should help out. Let's clear out all of these. Maybe if we grab these like so, we can come back to here. Those aren't quite connected in yet. Let's go ahead. We'll put up a little bit of dynamite right there. And we can connect those two paths through as well. That should get us connected to most of the stuff there. Let's come down. We're going to need to get rid of gears eventually, but for now, we can empty out the corn warehouses. We don't have one yet for the bot parts, so that's all right. Let's empty out. We'll say empty all of these. I don't think I have ones for all of these yet, but they can definitely try and empty what they can, and we'll come back to that. I foolishly missed my dynamite by one, but that's okay. We can just redo it. We'll fill this back in with some dirt. No big deal whatsoever. There we go. Let's go ahead. We'll put you back, and then we go ahead and fill out some of this stuff. Looks like I can fill in over this. Will it let me? It won't let me fill in over that. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm not that worried about it, and I'll show you why here in a second. We can just do... I do this. Yep, we'll do that, and we'll do this. Say, L, that looks kind of weird. Well, it'll work. It'll work for what we want, because we have other plans for this area anyway, so we're just going to leave it at that for now. Over here, the long tunnel, it looks like they're slowly working their way backwards. Let's see. We'll put in more path there. How are they doing over here? They need more path here as well. I do wish you could tell them to put a path under there. I went and looked for the mod that lets you put those paths underground, but unfortunately I couldn't find it. I know it's out there. I just could not find it myself. So we're just going to kind of work with what we got there. So today we got a whole lot of tunnels dug. We've got some big plans for tunnels over here. We've got underground storage going in, and hopefully next time we can finish those and get maybe started on some of our larger monuments. Maybe we've got a couple more projects that we got to take a look at, but hopefully next time we'll get to take a look at that. But as always, just want to say thank you very much for stopping by, and hope to see you next time. Bye.